So we're sitting next to DJ Seoul.
How's it going?
It's been good to meet you. I mean, you've been a resident advisor, top 10 a couple of times, things like that. You know, you're part of the Detroit Techno Militia. So you've got an insight about what's happening here at Movement. What's impressing you this year?
This year, first thing I noticed was the Detroit stage that I'm performing on is really vamped up. Last year was in the underground stage, and it sounded great. I was kind of at first disappointed when I heard they moved the Torino downstairs, but they really beefed the stage up, and you can hear it for miles down Woodward. And
Yeah, you can.
I'm really excited to be performing there. And other than that, your production level is always so high for the festival here, you know. And I come expecting the best, and I'm always beaten by it. So.
Nice.
No big expectations, not met or anything. Like everything's been fantastic.
Would you say that Detroit Techno Militia is preserving the tradition while redefining the sound?
That's better than I can say. Yeah, no, we're really concerned, not concerned, but we're really driven by preserving the Detroit Techno sound and preserving its history and carrying it forward into the future. We like to look at it more as we're kind of taking an aggressive approach to it, and this techno is so wide. You know, Detroit techno historically is from deep to housey and fast to the electro stuff, but we really go for the aggressive side of it.
The 140 BPM.
140, 137, 140 is where we like to sit, and that's what gets my heart racing. So I have a great time playing the festival.
When how are things like Movement or different festivals? How does that help you preserve that Detroit sound, that Detroit history?
Well, I'm very lucky and I get to travel a lot, and by taking the music, that we've been collecting here for years, and so much more, beautiful music is coming out, every day, especially with the festival movement, inspiring so many people every year to keep pushing the sound forward. That we take that, what's cultivated here, and we get to travel the world and play it for everyone. And you'd be amazed at how often people know Detroit music better. I would say better than a lot of people here in Detroit know it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
So how has Detroit Techno Militia evolved over the past 5 years or so? I know when I met you in Ohio, that you guys were just starting to come into your some big fame and getting ready to go on your first world tour, right?
Yes.
So how has that evolved over the last 5 years?
Well, the last 5 years has been non-stop for us, and we actually just got finished the time which did a 6-week tour over in Europe. 6 weeks is way too long to be gone. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we got to see a lot of cool stuff. But we've been doing stuff like that. We were preparing for that in small tours. We did a 14-month U.S. tour, doing a lot of the camping festivals and a lot of the, stuff, a lot of dubstep influence kind of events, weekend camping parties kind of thing. And we had that's where I met you. It was at
Family Affair
in Ohio, and we just non-stop touring, and we've put out 5 releases since then. And all vinyl. We do some digital, but the main focus is vinyl. And technology's involved. So.
Why are you keeping the focus on vinyl then? I mean, everybody seems to be moving away from it.
It goes back and forth. I mean, if you see the record sales for last year, I guess it's more than the record sales have ever been in history.
Really?
And the growth is like doubled in the past 12 months. Like I think maybe the digital world is kind of hitting a wall with the amount of expansion that it has done, and everybody's got a laptop and access to iTunes. So, I think with that, vinyl is becoming more rare. And sometimes it seems like a gimmick. All they're still playing vinyl. All these guys still playing vinyl.
But that's always been a part of your style.
Absolutely. But another side of it though is that vinyl absolutely does sound better. Absolutely. And especially on these massive sound systems they have here at this festival, you can tell the difference. And I saw a shirt, it may skip a little, maybe warp a little, but it's never gonna crash. So the vinyl's what we prefer, but I have no qualms about either way. So.
That was an interesting thing that Terrence Parker brought up, was the extra about 4 decibels of bass that you get with analog over digital. Do you? He mentioned that he had trouble touring with clubs that were not set up for analog. Do you have that issue, or do you think that the people that are looking for you guys are set up for analog and ready to go?
Well, for us, the tour we just did, we did a 4 turntable performance. So our technical writer is very precise.
Yeah.
And they have it set up. But we have had problems where the setup is not set up for vinyl.
Yeah.
And I always carry a book of CDs just in case, the show must go on.
Yeah.
Essentially, but we run that problem. Not all the time, but overseas a little bit. I mean, here in Detroit, it's the opposite. I just did the Bang Tech 12 event.
Yeah.
It was a forum event, and a lot of the out-of-town guys from down south all play CDs. And they were telling me that down in Tennessee, it's hard pressed to find turntables.
Yeah.
Very hard pressed to find some CDJs.
Yeah.
So 1200s are flying around.
Well, is that part of why? Because we've got that savvy, because it's here. I mean, people know it. Is that part of why the sound volume here? Movement it's been fantastic. You're not getting a lot of distortion, at least not when unless it's planned distortion. You're getting a good sound out of it. Is that part of why?
I think that has a lot to do with the type of music. Electronic music itself is it's all sound engineers. It's not like a bunch of guys jamming out in the garage. It's got an album. It's sound engineers and DJs and putting together music that is specifically designed for loud systems, specifically. And I mean, you see the rigs that they're amazing.
Yeah.
And the sound guys, on our stage, Kevin Williams, the stage manager, I know I'm in great hands, and Photon's running around, so you got the right people, the right sound, and then you add the right music. It's going to sound as good as it has been.
So the 5x5, 5 turntablists, 5 turntables, that's a very unique experience. What are the most important elements to making the 5x5 a memorable performance?
It's going to be memorable. There's no in between with the 5x5. It's going to be exciting, because it's all. It kind of hangs on a thread. It really depends on a lot of cohesion among the 5 of us.
Right, and you usually do it where you have 2 scratch DJs on the ends, and then the 3 in the middle are mixing, right?
Well, we do have one. Psycho's going to be on. It's going to go Psycho.
Yep.
Tom Linder, Neil V, me, and then Dark Cube.
Oh, okay.
So the scratch guys are going to be 1 and 4.
Yep.
And we got a little special intro we're doing. I hope you're there to see it.
We'll be there.
Some special stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously you're not just DJ, you're not just here for fun. You're a fan too. I know you're keeping up on it. So who are you looking for to see this weekend?
This weekend, that's a really good question. There's so much, It's really weird. I mean, you see that there's so much great out-of-town talent here. Amazing amount of out-of-town talent. Probably the best lineup I've ever seen. And it's funny, I catch myself being drawn to the Detroit acts that I know and love. Like the Odds 88 show last night was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the first day, right off the bat, the whole lecture bouts. It was like 5 hours of just awesome, my favorite music. And but from out of town, there was some I wanted to see how the crowd response was for a lot of the dubstep and the electronic stuff at the Red Bull stage, the experimental stuff. And Echo Space was around on my list, no question about it. You put me on the spot.
I know.
It's all right.
It's all right.
So what is different about your work with Bang Tech 12 as opposed to Detroit Techno Militia?
Now, Bang Tech 12 is a totally different entity. Bang Tech 12 is something that started in 1996, and it's mainly a booking agency. The record label starts in July, though. We're launching a vinyl label, as well as a digital label in July. But we just celebrated our 15-year anniversary and had a big event. It was fantastic. We are 42 artists strong.
From all over the world.
We have 7 states in the United States, as well as we've got artists in France, Scotland, England, Holland, and Italy, and Croatia.
All right, I'll get one more.
One more.
Okay.
Oh, one more.
This is my famous question here. Well, Kubert says that when he's scratching, that he's communicating with aliens.
Yeah, I love how he said it. So
Can you relate to that?
Absolutely. You know, well, on the same kind of tip that he's kind of talking about, like when you're scratching. I mean, I play techno, but I do a lot of scratching and juggling and tricks and stuff. But you're using it more as an instrument than, I mean, when you're combining records and blending, you're using it as an instrument. But when I'm using it for scratching, I'm, doing rudiments, you're doing, it's more of like playing a drum, or not just a drum or a snare, but more like a conga or a djembe drum.
A call and answer kind
yeah,
of.
you can manipulate it so much, and I love how he says he's talking to aliens, but
Yeah.
I kind of think of it like like kind of like speaking to the crowd more or less, but actually talking. Sometimes I try to stop it, but I kind of like mouthing like stuff out when I'm scratching. I don't think it looks cool, but it's because I'm really talking, through the tunes.
For sure.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So thanks for sitting down
It was my
with us, DJ
pleasure.
Seoul.
Thank you so much. Thank you.